Hello and welcome to Defense Finance Management. Like all ministries, MINDEF SAF's budget is prepared for each financial year, or FY, which begins on 1st April of every calendar year and ends on 31st March of the next calendar year. Our budgeting cycle comprises multi-year plans and quarterly reviews. This helps us take a longer-term view as we plan for and manage the Defense Budget, or DB. Our defense budget comes from Singaporeans who have given us the trust to spend wisely, and it is our duty to do so. To maintain public trust, we must always be mindful of our spending and of public perception. We should not be perceived as spending extravagantly or inappropriately. This means spending on only the essentials while being creative and innovative to deliver maximum impact with minimum cost. Thus, MINDEF's management of public money is guided by the principles of spending within the allocated provision for its intended purposes, spending wisely to achieve value for money, proper accounting, and compliance with the relevant financial procedures. The DB could be used for purchasing goods and services in MINDEF and SAF. Within the purchasing process, there are many touch points with the public. And so we have the 5-step finance procurement process with controls like approving authorities, segregation of duties, accounting, statutory reporting and auditing to ensure the proper use of the defense budget and mitigate potential risks of fraud. Financial control is enforced through financial appointment holders, or FAHs, who verify and approve the commitment and payment of public money in the finance procurement process. They include the funding authorities, who advise on funding supportability and approve the funding of purchases, and the payment officers who process payments. It is also necessary to segregate duties to provide sufficient checks and balances to minimize the risk of fraud. In general, approvers should not approve their own requests. Approval of sequential steps should not be done by the same person for a single transaction. Payment processes should be separate from preceding steps. Respective individuals, especially approvers, should discharge their responsibilities with integrity. Another control is accounting. While the IT systems for the finance procurement process have incorporated accounting, decisions like cost group charging and accurate data entry by all stakeholders are required for reliable monitoring, reporting, statutory reporting, and decision-making. What is cost group charging? MINDEF SAF's expenditure is classified into cost groups like personnel, construction, capital and operations for statutory and management reporting. Hence, proper and consistent cost group charging is critical for decision and policy making. In being entrusted with public money, MINDEF is also required by law to submit statutory reports to the Accountant General's Department, or AGD, in the Ministry of Finance. These reports are submitted on a regular basis to address key concerns by Parliament. Besides submitting statutory reports to AGD, MINDEF is also subjected to yearly audits by AGD. Within MINDEF, there are also regular internal audits. Common lapses include conflict of interest, or COI, collusion, falsifying and tampering of documents. Conflict of interest occurs when personal interests and/or activities compromise decisions at work. Whether real, potential, or perceived, it can happen to anyone. Thus, when in doubt, always declare. Collusion can be real or perceived, especially in situations involving gifts. Servicemen should be mindful of public perception when dealing with suppliers and other approvers in the organization, especially those involved in the same purchases. The finance procurement process can involve many hard copy and soft copy documents at various points. These should be obtained in a timely manner and filed properly. Should the required documents have errors or are not available, do not falsify or tamper with the documents. Promptly take appropriate actions like investigating and informing relevant authorities. Every personnel should uphold the highest standard of ethical conduct at all times. Now, let us recap on the key points. Our defense budget, or DB, comes from Singaporeans who trust MINDEF and SAF to spend it wisely. While systems are in place to safeguard the use of the DB, it is our people that make the difference. So let us carry out our roles and responsibilities with prudence and the highest level of integrity and ethical conduct, being ever mindful of public perception.